Today I've got a new twist for you on fruit leather. Ever try it with cranberry sauce? One of my favorite fruit leathers has cranberry sauce in it, and this is not the jellied cranberry sauce that you get at Thanksgiving. It pours out of the can, stays on one big hunk. This is actually cranberries in a sauce, and it pours out. You got whole cranberries and everything. Add in some mandarin oranges for a little bit of tartness, as if the cranberry won't give you enough tart flavor. And I like to add in some applesauce to give it some binding, some pectin, so it actually becomes fruit leather. So stay tuned, I'll show you how I do it. The first thing we're going to do is take all of the ingredients, put them in the Ninja, and swirl them all together. It'll make a lot of noise. Hang on. If you try to make your fruit leather by pouring it out onto one of these trays, it won't work. It will all flow to the bottom. It'll be a mess. Don't do it. What you should use is a fruit leather tray. It's solid and it has a lip on it, so you can actually pour a liquid into it and it'll sit there. It's not going to dry as well as it would if you could put it on a flow through tray like this, but there's no way a liquid is going to sit there. Put this on, it'll eventually dry all the way through. You'll have some nice fruit leather. The problem is going to come in when you try to take it off. The fruit leather is going to stick to this plastic and you're going to have a mess. To get it to free up easily, spray a paper towel with a little bit of spray-on cooking spray, and then put a very, very thin coat, about as thin as you can get, over every surface that's going to touch the fruit leather. It won't make it easy to take off the fruit leather. It won't just fall off if you flip over the tray when it's dry. It won't just pop off. But it will make it possible to peel it off in one common sheet. There. Now, of course, I'm not sure if you can see it so well, but every place that it's shiny, and it's consistently shiny everywhere, there's a thin coat of oil on there. That's the way to do this. This part might be a little bit messy. We're going to take and pour the fruit leather. It's not really leather yet, the fruit liquid maybe, onto the plastic sheet. And my recommendation is to make it as thick as you can. If you make it too thin, it will get brittle. You don't want brittle food in the field. You want leather. You want something you can bend, something you can chew. If it's brittle, it'll break into small pieces and fall on the ground. And then that bear is going to smell it, and he may not come after you. But maybe he smells it tomorrow and comes after that hiker. Maybe a week later he comes back. Yeah, so I've pretty much filled that tray up. Oh, it smells good. Yum. I won't make you watch all the other trays, but I'm going to do the same thing on all of them. I'll put a light coat of oil onto the plastic, onto that plastic sheet, and then pour the fruit leather on as thick as I can. I'll be back in a minute with a full tray. I've got all the trays on the dehydrator loaded up with the liquid fruit leather. It is all liquid, so I'm going to be very careful if I have to move it at all until it firms up. The way you know the fruit leather is done is you can pick up the tray, which I'm not going to try now, and start to peel away the edges. If it's solid, if it's fruit leather, it'll peel away in one solid piece. If it's not ready, it'll rip. You'll feel soft, mushy stuff underneath it. The top is going to dry, but it's underneath that has to get dry for the fruit leather to be done. So I'm going to plug this in, let it sit overnight. It may take 12 hours of dehydrating. I would not be surprised. So we'll check it out in the morning. It's been about 12 hours since I put the cranberry fruit leather on the dehydrator. Let's check it out. It feels dry. Yeah, it feels dry. Yep. So it's done. What I like to do though, because the plastic of the fruit leather tray doesn't let any of the drying get to the bottom, I like to peel this off. Just find a place where I can peel it up. Because sometimes it's kind of hard. Sometimes it rips. Peel it up and separate it. And just flip it upside down back onto the tray. Now this does feel a little bit, a little sticky. It's not really wet, a little bit sticky though. I just do that to all of the different trays. Pull the fruit leather off, expose the side that was not dried, and plug it in for another couple hours. That just makes sure that both the top that was exposed and the bottom that was covered by the plastic, they get equal amount of time to dry. You want it to be dry all the way through. Did you notice how flexible it was? Truly fruit leather. All right, so we'll check in on this in a little bit and cut it up into pieces that can be eaten. Now don't do this with a metal pizza cutter. This has a plastic blade on it. I like to cut up my fruit leather into 8 pieces. But the only thing I don't like about my dehydrator is that it's round. And in situations like this where I'd really like to have square or rectangular fruit leather, I have pie-shaped. Not a big sacrifice. I like this dehydrator. Cost under $100. I did have the thermostat on a break on a previous one, the same model. And I was able to get it replaced. I bought a new one off of eBay for about the same price, under $100. Real happy with it, very reliable. It was a problem that the thermostat froze hot. So it actually warped some of my trays and burnt the food I was dehydrating. So it leaves me a little bit cautious that maybe I shouldn't leave the dehydrator running unattended, that I should be home every time I'm running it. So I just do this with all of them, and I'll show you how I package these up after I get them all cut up.